Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create your own augmented reality simulations. My last video detailed what augmented reality was, so if you haven't viewed that, I definitely recommend clicking on the button and reviewing what augmented reality is first. In this one, you'll see that you can use any computer, an Apple or a Windows machine to create your own augmented reality simulations. To view the actual augmented reality piece though, you do need to either have an Android phone or tablet or an Apple phone or tablet, so iPad or iPhone. But to create it, you just go to any computer and you can go to studio.aurasma.com. You don't need the rest of this, it'll take you to the same page. Once you get here, you're going to click on sign up and create your own account. It is free. If you already have an account, log in. And you're going to see a good tutorial that opens up immediately as soon as you log in. And so if you need to go back and review any of this stuff that I'm going to talk about in this video, this is a good place to do that. If you X out of it, it is available again on the right hand side at the bottom of the page. The first thing here is trigger images. Trigger images is the real life images. So the example that I gave you in the last video, Abraham Lincoln Comes Home, which is a book. The trigger image for that was the cover of the book. So the real life thing, not the virtual information that the students are actually holding, that's the trigger image. As you can see on the left hand side, you can organize the trigger images in folders. So you can do that by just right clicking there and clicking new folder. Over here is how you add the new image, and we'll go through that again in a little bit. Overlays is the next piece of information here. An overlay is the virtual information. So it might be a website, it might be an image, it might be a 3D image, it might be a video, as you can see here. One of the examples I had was a math worksheet in which whenever the students scanned it with Aurasma, they could actually get the answers to the worksheet. If they got the first problem wrong and they wanted to know how to actually solve it, they just zoomed into that worksheet and it opened up a video showing them how to solve it. So that virtual information is the overlays, and it's very similar layout on here as the trigger images. On the left hand side there's folders, and you can add it by hitting the add button. Again, videos, images, web pages, 3D models are all types of overlays that you can have using Aurasma. Channels are a little bit more complicated. So everything that you create, you want to store in a channel for people to follow. So all your students will want to follow your channel so they can see all of your overlays over trigger images. For example, as you can see here, that's the Penn State's logo, for their athletics logo. So whenever I created that, I'm not the only person to have ever used that image. Other people have also used the Penn State's athletics logo on things for Aurasma. So how does the machine know to use my overlay and not somebody else's overlay when it's being scanned? And it's because you have to follow my channel in order for it to trigger my overlay when it's scanned. So hopefully that makes a little sense. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll try to explain that better. And as you can see there, I have multiple channels. You can create multiple channels for multiple classes. Auras, that's actually what they call their augmented reality simulations. So that's the connection between the trigger, the overlay, and the channel. It's what houses them all, what links them all up. So here was the Abraham Lincoln cover for that book. I named the aura so I knew which one I was talking about. That's the trigger image. It was the cover of the book. It says what channel it's on, and it says there's one overlay attached to that cover. So let's go through one on how to create it now. First, you click on trigger images. I'm going to add a trigger image. I'm going to title it something that I'll remember. Browse to find it on my computer. I'm just going to use an image of my nieces and nephew. And save. Sometimes an error pops up here that says it had a problem analyzing the picture. If that happens, you can click yes. What it means is that it might not always work when it's scanned because either the picture's not good enough or it might be too small or something like that. So you can click yes and try it out to see if it works, but it might not, so you'll have to go back and change the image. This one worked out. I'm going to close. As you can see, it's complete. I'm going to close out of my sugar images. You're going to add an overlay if you would like. I'm just going to use one of the overlays that I already have in here, but it would be the same thing. You name an overlay, you say what it is, you add it, and you hit close. And I'm also going to use the channel that I already have, but here's how you would add a channel. Or now I want to combine all three of these elements together. Hit add. It starts down here already, but I like to go back up to where it says aura details. Start from the beginning. You're going to name the aura. I'm going to say what trigger image it is. I don't really care for this part. It's not very organized. It is alphabetical order, but all those nice folders we have, it's all just piled into one here. But if you remember what it was called, you can just type it in. All right, for the channel, I'm just going to use Brittany's test channel. You can add a time restriction if you would like to. You can add your overlay. So I'm going to use one, and this is the same thing. It's all alphabetical order. It doesn't do it by folder, unfortunately. I'm going to use this overlay. There we go. You could also see there's an option there for invisible overlay. So what that means is that it will not show anything, and there might be a reason or two to do that, and I can explain that in a little bit. So the next thing is the properties of the overlay. So for this, whenever I scan the image, it's going to have that overlay, but it's only going to be over that image. So that means everything outside of that image is still going to be reality. So it's going to be like this floating picture. So I want it to be full screen. I want it to take up the whole screen. I don't want to see anything surrounding the picture anymore. So I'm going to hit add action, and I'm going to say whenever this overlay has started, I would like it to make it full screen. But I also want it to go someplace. So I'm going to hit add action. I'm going to say whenever the overlay is tapped, I want you to add the King William website. So you're going to load the King William Public Schools website as soon as somebody taps the overlay. And I'm going to hit save. Now the reason why you might want to then why you might want to have an invisible overlay is because then instead of when it's tapped, you can say as soon as the overlay starts, you load the website. So you might remember from one of my examples, the Abe Lincoln cover, as soon as we scanned that, it just went straight to a website. And I did that by using an invisible overlay, so there was no image or anything attached to it. But as soon as it started, I was able to make it load a website. All right, and the aura is created. So let's test this out. So I just created that, and I'm going to start my reflector app. All right. There's my desk, and I'm going to minimize this for now. I'm going to open up the picture of my nieces and nephews. There it is. So you can see what I'm seeing on my iPad. This is the picture that we used, and I'm going to take my iPad and scan it. All right, and there you can see our overlay. And then as soon as I tap it, it loads the King William County Public School website. Okay, so that's a really basic way to do that. What I also wanted to show you on this video is the little A on the bottom. That's kind of the menu for Aurasma. So as I said, you need to follow my channel in order to make this work. Down here, you'll see a magnifying glass, which is probably one of the more important features for you to find. You click the magnifying glass, And this is where you can try to find me. So you can type in Brittany's test channel. And you can see it pops up with mine right there. I'm the first one on that page. But there's a whole bunch of other people you can follow and look at their cool stuff. So you would click on that, on me, and as you can see, there's a follow button here. So you would follow me. So that's how you would follow people. Down here, you can see who you're already following. So as you can see, I have a couple of different people I follow. Down here, you can actually create your own augmented reality simulations right on your device. However, it is limited, so you pretty much have to use one of their 3D images, which is fun if you just want to play with it. It's pretty cool stuff, so it's fun to do. There's Harry Potter there. You can just add Harry Potter to any image you want, and then he'll probably be pretty interactive because these are all 3D GIFs, so that's cool. And there's the home button, and then the middle one, again, was back to the camera. All right, so that's kind of the basics of Aurasma, how to create your own image, and how to make your own augmented reality simulations. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you want to use this in your classroom, even if you want to try to figure it out yourself, I would love to just come in and lend a helping hand and see how you're going to use this. So thanks for watching.